Welcome to another episode of Chibino Podcast, a review episode. And today, us three Chibis, we got to see the last movie of the Skywalker saga. So, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. And this is our spoiler-full review of the movie.
Sorry.
So, let's do introductions. You got me, David the Smash Man.
Smash your tech guy.
Mister.
And me, again, David, the Smash Fan, the announcer, and the host today. So, this review is actually going to be a little bit different because there's so much to digest about this movie, and it's actually going to take a few videos to do that, to go over what this all means, because you have to do that for any Star Wars movie that has a trilogy like this. You just have to. So, the way we're going to structure this video is we're going to go over first what we didn't like about the movie, or stuff that didn't make sense, or whatever left a bad taste in our mouth. And then the second half, we're going to talk about all the good stuff, and then give our final thoughts and score at the end. So, yeah, let's start this actually with Miles the Tech Guy here. Start us off with the bad stuff, some bad stuff that you didn't like. And again, this is not going to go, we don't have to go like timeline wise, just any parts you didn't like.
Okay, sure. Oh my god, where do I begin? This movie had a lot of problems. But no, it's okay. It's okay. The majority, it's a good film. But oh god. Okay. There's a lot. Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm still processing. There's so much. Okay. Let's just go straight into spoilers here. Rey being a Palpatine. I feel it's just kind of one of those things where it's fine, not a big deal. I just feel like I don't know if that was necessarily his original idea, and I will get into that in another video, but it's fine. But it didn't explain still her power. I don't care who you are, she's still a Mary Sue. I liked Rey more in this one, but Rey was kind of a big issue for me. I like that she's training, but I didn't because it's kind of too late. What did I say here? I don't know. I want to give you guys a chance because I bet you guys have some criticisms too.
I can go.
Go ahead, please. My mind's
So
still
what I
processing.
didn't like with Rey is, I mean, I did like the Palpatine thing because
Talking about our dislike.
a dislike. Okay, so
Dislike
I didn't
first.
like how she. I don't know. There wasn't too much I didn't like about her in this one. Too much actually. I felt like she was quiet too often, like analyzing things, and that was about it. I didn't really dislike what she had. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't too helpful.
No, not really. Okay,
So-
here's the thing. Oh, go ahead, Dave. You go do one.
I'll go with this one, and this is near the end of the movie, and it's still and this also knocked my score down significantly because of this moment, and that's Rey and Kylo kissing.
That was the one I was going to bring up.
I saw that, I was like, what?
I was calling
I was
that so hard when I saw them, like they're going to kiss, because they had this huge love connection in 8. Well, for the one fucker, sorry, that dissed me at frickin' the geek place at frickin' Valley Fair Mall, saying, no, they don't have a romantic connection. Bullshit. Get a girlfriend, maybe you'll learn what a connection is. And they frickin' did it. It was so Disney. I still think the Rose and Finn kiss was worse, but this was still just as frickin' cheesy and stupid. It was so Disney.
And this was the thing but the Rose and Finn kiss was like, it was Rose kind of acting
It was random
on him,
impulse,
and he wasn't
yeah.
doing.
It wasn't
impulse,
reciprocated.
But this one was like both of them kind of like getting closer and closer, and then both like kind of lunging. I was like, I cringed. I hated that. I felt that completely unnecessary. I honestly thought that scene, of Kylo giving his life energy to her, so that she could be alive again, would have been better had he done that and then fallen over, and then she wakes up and sees him, saw what he did for her, and then see him, disappear.
So yeah,
I think that would have been better for me.
I'm a little different on this part because I feel like, she should have. I think the kiss would have been okay if he just kissed her on the forehead and then him passing, because then at least, because I didn't care if I didn't want her to reciprocate the feeling. That's how
It would have
I
been
felt.
more of a Jedi way too.
It doesn't. I didn't care for that either way. To me, for the Star Wars Jedi crap, doesn't. I don't care for that in this part for this movie.
I do for
this
franchise, but I get you.
But for this lore crap, it didn't matter to me. But I didn't care if she didn't reciprocate or if he kissed her, but she was kind of like more shocked. And then I would have been okay. That's fine because he felt it, but she didn't. I would have been okay with that either way. But her being like, okay, let's kiss too. I was like, it kind of sucks dick.
So I'm going to bring up something and tell me what you guys think as well. The majority of the movie, the complaints I have, the majority of it's the ending. Not so much the getting there. Like, there's issues to get to the finale, but the finale in general, to me, was my major issue. For example, her to beat Palpatine like fucking nothing? Fuck off. I'm sorry, no. It's Palpatine. No, you don't just kick his ass by blocking lightning from two sabers, force it back on him, and he disintegrates. I'm sorry, but no. And the other part, sorry, I'm just getting to the ending, was on top of that, right, I wanted to see an epic battle of some kind of them struggling, right? For him, I thought it was funny how Palpatine just said, you know, Skywalker threw me down, I'm going to throw Skywalker and throw Kylo. That was funny, but it kind of sucked to not have both of them team up and fight. It just, the whole fight scene to me was just blah.
But here's I'll get into another complaint about it's just the lightsaber fight scenes in general. There's pros and cons to it, but the con was like it felt weak. The choreography just
was lazy.
It was emotion driven. Like when you so I'll compare this to I'll compare this to Return of the Jedi. So Return of the Jedi, obviously. Yeah,
so what I felt like, it felt more, because obviously back then in the original trilogy, there wasn't too much of a choreography, so it's kind of like bang, 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 hit with lightsabers, whereas in the prequels, the choreography was intense, it was amazing. The Revenge of the Sith, or whatever it's called, that one was amazing because the choreography was crazy cool, so that's why people loved it so much. This one, like you were saying, Rey was more emotionally driven, and Kylo was kind of like meh, 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 bang. So,
but Luke did the same thing. Luke did the same thing in Return of the Jedi, that he went through emotions when Darth Vader was like, "I'm gonna go after your sister."
Well, you gotta look at this
but again,
too.
it felt better. I didn't say the choreography was better, but the way that his emotion.
Sorry,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the choreography was better. I'm saying the way that they portrayed his emotions in the fight, I felt a lot more when Luke did it against Vader than when Rey did it against Kylo. Yeah. It just felt weak when she was trying to fight with emotion.
I think I get what he's getting at, actually, Diego, because I agree with him. So what he's probably getting is like, right, sometimes less is more, right? The emotion that Luke did against Vader, every swing, right, when he did a strike, it was a strike, and then it was a calming into plot his emotions, and then another strike, and then a calming into emotions. Vader throwing the lightsaber will lead to him sensing about his sister, and that's when he finally uses the dark side and rages against him, and then eventually just throws the lightsaber and says no. Like, every little thing it wasn't a drawn out fight. Everything had every swing of the sword had an emotional impact with the story. This one was kind of just I don't know, it was fan service, if that's fair to say, which is fine.
It was J.J. Abrams, so of course.
Well, you know what, it's better than saying F you to the fans like the last movie. I'm sorry, but this freaking movie,
it doesn't matter. Don't apologize, dude. I get it. Don't apologize for it.
Sorry, you can just, for all of what Disney said, saying they had a plot from the beginning, Palpatine was always in the plot at the beginning, they always had a narrative from the beginning. Bull fucking shit. Anybody come to me now and tell me different. This movie is an utter FU to The Last Jedi. If I want to go to frickin' Ryan, or to JJ, and you would be like, you swear to me, look me in the eyes, you tell me you freaking like that movie, because this was a big FU. The whole trilogy has no structure. It's so weird. Like, you could watch 7 and skip to 9, but at the same time, 9's like 3 or 4 freaking movies in one. Like, that would be my other big complaint. Is there's so freaking much in one movie that I'm still processing what the hell I watched.
Yeah, it was all jumbled up and everything.
It was so many retcons.
To be fair, the problem with that movie though was, when me and David discussed it earlier, was when Carrie Fisher passed, because they had to rewrite a lot of the script because of that. So I wonder how much had to be changed and how much was rushed and how much had to be retconned and, et cetera,
But remember, she died before JJ even did the plot because he wasn't the original writer for this.
I know, but still, like, he originally wrote what it had to be, so they had to change it. And maybe the minute they were going to shoot...
No, that was the original script. They got JJ in way later after she died, and they weren't going to use the old script.
Oh, I don't know the timeline then, whatever.
I know that they released that JJ had a vision of Leia being a more central figure in the last one.
And you can see how
I remember her, yeah. You see she would have been, and so we can only just, think what if, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's go away from the cons, because again, we can talk about everything forever. Let's go to the positives on here. So I'll start. So I did say that I did not like a lot of the choreography and the way that the emotions were portrayed in the lightsaber duels. However, I did like how when they're fighting in the sea part during the Death Star, Rey and Kylo, when she and both of them, they start blocking the sabers with the Force. I actually did like that. I was like, I've always wondered, like, why can't they use the Force to stop the lightsabers? Like, what's stopping them? And they showed it here that they can do that with when they're fighting. I swear it could have been done better with the choreography, but just the fact that she showed that, I thought was awesome.
I like how they added a lot of the prequel, like, using the Force to, like, jump really high and do crazy, like, acrobatics. I really like that they added that.
Yeah, they use a lot of the Force techniques, which again I like it because they're just incorporating both. Because at least at this point, there's no council, there's no one saying that you should do it this way or that way. It's just they're both kind of doing their own thing, and that's what I like, that they were able to do all this other acrobatics and all the lightsaber pushes or Force pushes and all that. I thought that was really good.
I think one of my favorite scenes was the well, this is going to sound cheesy. My favorite, because anybody that listens to this podcast, they know the biggest reason why I didn't like the last movie was Luke. My favorite line of the movie was when she throws a lightsaber and Luke catches it, and he's just like, that's no way to treat a Jedi's weapon.
Yeah, it's the irony.
That was a big F you to Rian Johnson. I mean, that was cut as dry as it gets, period. But that was cool just to see Luke be like, kind of that Obi-Wan moment, and she sits down with her and talks to her, and he shows her the Leia's lightsaber, and then you get to see, like, the training of a young Luke with a young Carrie Fisher training. That was, to me, my favorite movie, or favorite part of the entire movie. Like, that just gave me the warmest feeling ever. I got goosebumps.
It was good.
I felt that was so beautiful, so well done. I wanted more. They had to put on the face on them so you don't see their face too much.
They put the shade and everything, and then everything was recorded in the dark.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment.
To do it.
That was just beautiful to see brother and sister like that, and the lightsabers. That was just beautiful.
Because technically in the old lore, she was supposed to be the better fighter than Luke, right?
No, she was always supposed to be more powerful than Luke if she was to fully embrace it. But the original Kara character, she was to train her. So there was some parallels there, which I kind of liked.
Okay, cool.
But Leia, technically, if she would have done the Force like Luke, George said that, she would have been more powerful if she actually,
And they kind of hinted at that with Carrie getting the upper hand on Luke.
Yeah, that was cool. That was awesome.
One thing I did like, and I had to verify at the end credits, was Rey was like
the
on the ground after she got the Jedi talking to herself. Like,
I
heard Ahsoka, and then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is that Kanan? Did I hear Kanan? And I was like, no, did I? And then when the credits came, it said Kanan was. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I do wish they would have added more Hayden Christensen, so I wish he would have showed up as a Force Ghost to Ben or something.
It would have been dope. It would have been dope.
I wish too, but when you heard Hayden, you could tell.
Yes.
You tell right away that's him.
He popped up like 5 times in that.
He probably had the most apparent voice, right? Out of all. But it was cool to hear Ben, Obi-Wan come and say, when he said, this is your first steps, just like in Force Awakens. That was a great nod to the original. That was so, so cool. But even, like, the thing they did for Carrie, right? For Carrie Fisher's character, to give her send-off to use the Force powers, to help give a vision memory of Han Solo. And she even does that, like, Leia thing when Han, like, touches, like, Ben and is talking to him. And you can tell that was totally, like, Leia helping him remember the father and stuff. I just thought it was a beautiful way of, like, having Carrie kind of have some big impact to push into the light. I just thought that was really cool.
And that part was probably the one I was most surprised at. Mm-hmm. Like, in this movie, I was surprised, like, but seeing Han one more time, I was so surprised.
And to make him not a Force Ghost, right? It worked with Carrie showing him a vision, or Leia. That was great.
It was great.
Yeah, and again, like I when we read some plot leaks and everything was leaked here, but for whatever reason, whenever I read them, or the last one that I read, I'd never read this part that this was in it.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. So that's why I was so surprised that he was in there. I was like, what? So I loved that.
What about you, Diego? What'd you like? What was your favorite part?
I liked the spaceship battles. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. I liked when all of them came to help at the very end. I thought it was really cool. And
Dude, that got me chills.
Jittery. Let's see, what else was it? When Lando pops up and when he does that with the appearance, and then
when he meets Chewbacca and they give a hug.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I felt like crying, dude.
Oh, dude. Okay, so this is one thing I didn't like. I felt bad for Chewie. So when they said Leia passed, and because like all his friends that he met in the first movie.
Oh, and then he finally reacted, right?
Yeah, I was about to cry. I was like, oh man, I feel bad for Chewie. But it was good. And then the one thing I did like was when, I know we saw the spoiler of the picture, but when Ben and Rey both had the lightsabers, I was like, that's so cool. But nothing came out of it, so that's what sucked.
Can I just give a quick nod and shout out that Chewie finally got the medal?
Yeah.
He finally got a medal.
I saw that.
That was so cool. One thing we haven't really talked about, we're only talking about the big moments. How did you guys like the dynamic of all three of them come together finally? Like in a movie? How'd you like the chemistry of all three of them?
I liked it. I liked it for the most part. I wish it was more prominent in all the other movies.
I agree.
Because
yeah.
they could have done between Poe, Finn, and Rey.
Okay, so
I like how
you never see them together until the last film. It's kind of retarded.
We're kind of loud. We gotta cook. But what was I gonna say? I like Poe a whole lot better than his Last Jedi, because he was kind of like a bitch in the Last Jedi. And this one, he's like confused on being a leader and all this stuff, and it was cool. I liked it though. I agree. It though,
because they kind of retold his arc a second time. Like his arc in the second one was the same as the first one, like trying to run away. It was the same.
From the Last Jedi, he was like, he learned from the Last Jedi. Like he was trying to jump the gun too much and just too super arrogant and emotionally driven. Whereas in this one, he's trying to use his thoughts and being creative and think about things better. So that's what I liked about it more. So I can see where it continues from there. I liked it.
I liked how Poe was not being ridiculed, and I'm not going to get into the politics of that, but it was just nice to see. I always kind of like Poe. He's always really fun to watch. So it was kind of cool to see him having like that argumentative nature with Rey. I thought that was kind of cool, because it's just sad though that their relationship has to be off screen. And especially when the novelization, right, they meet in The Force Awakens, but then you go watch The Last Jedi and then they meet for the first time in the movie, and it's like, well, what the hell? And then Disney doesn't have an answer to that, and it's just, that's the kind of thing. It just sucks that the what do you call it, just them being together and getting that feel of just that connection between the team just sucks. It has to be at the very end. But one thing I want to ask you guys, I need to get this out of my head real quick. I think we can all assume what Finn was going to say to Rey, but he never answered what he's going to say to Rey.
He loved it. That was it.
I know, but he never said it.
Yeah, but it's not needed.
So, do you think that they'll get together in the extended lore?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so. I think that I think there is a bond there, and
it was really good in 7 too.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk up the whole kissing thing of adrenaline rushing and that happening. That's what I'm gonna chuck it to, because that's what I'm gonna believe, and until something's confirmed otherwise, that's what I'm leaving it at.
Hey,
right there.
quick question.
Sorry,
Dave. I just want to ask you a quick question. For a person that, because I hit up my friend and I asked him how he liked it, and he's just been mute now. I just want to ask you, for someone that really loved The Last Jedi, which is awesome, everybody can like. If you like it, that's fine. For a person that really loves it, how did this movie make you feel? Did you feel insulted or mad in any way? Because there's a lot of FUs to that movie. Or how did you feel as a fan? I'm just curious.
No, because like I said, I did like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
It had its flaws, like big flaws in it, and so it didn't really affect me. It doesn't make me like The Last Jedi less.
Okay.
So it doesn't really affect it. It's more of the overall chaos that is this trilogy that has me more kind of like, I don't know how to feel about it, but again, that's it for a different video. But that's mostly just my feelings. That's my feelings for like the entire trilogy. So it doesn't affect like each movie how I liked it. It just more seeing this movie just affects how I think of the trilogy as a whole.
That's fine. So would you say for Last Jedi fans, they'll probably still get a lot to like out of this? They'll be okay with it.
I would say. I think
normal people will
recommend it.
Normal people.
I would recommend it. I think the only thing is
normal people.
I think Ryan Johnson. Okay, here's funny because I think Ryan Johnson.
It's true.
Let's wrap it up quick too.
Took offense to this because he says, like, you don't want to do a movie that has fan service in it, and there's a lot of fan service in here, and there's a lot of jabs at Last Jedi. The Last Jedi.
2 words. Endgame.
Endgame.
Doesn't matter.
Biggest movie of all time, and it was fan service. There's no reason to not do it.
Yeah, but it's how you execute it too.
Exactly. But it's not to say you can't do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's fine.
But again, for a topic for another is how we got there and what JJ had to do
for another day,
to
for sure.
to put all the ties to fix everything or to give an actual ending to it. I mean, we can talk about that, what he had to do, what had to be done. So,
sure.
Anyway, let's give our final ratings for the movie.
You go first, Miles.
I'm still processing it. I need to see it again this weekend with my dad.
Initial reaction, then.
I know. Initial reaction. I'm gonna give it a 7 for right now.
Okay.
That's the same for me.
Same here.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, it was okay.
I will say this though.
Good, not great.
It would have been higher, but that kiss thing just dropped it a whole point. It did for me. It dropped it.
I wish it wasn't reciprocated. If she didn't reciprocate it, it would have been a little bit higher.
I give props for how this thing has been handled. I would not want to be in JJ's shoes. He had a lot to answer and fill, and a lot to answer for at the end. So I don't envy him. I mean, I think he did the best he could for what he had. So, and what Disney will allow him to do. I do feel JJ is a fan of Star Wars, but it was good. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Whether it was needed is a topic for another day.
The trilogy was a topic is another day. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, let us know what you guys thought about the movie. Leave a comment below. Have a discussion whether you liked it, what you didn't like it. Again, we're gonna be discussing this trilogy for a few videos to go more in depth on everything that was resolved or not resolved. So just wait for those. And thanks so much for listening to this review. This is David the Smash Fan,
Smash Tech Guy,
Mr.
and this is Chibino Podcast.
See ya.